the tiniest crown. Is it for babies?
Hey, Bo, what are you doing?
Hey, Jason, man, we've got the Walton Arts Center gang coming up on the show tonight.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that maybe they might cast me for one of their Broadway shows.
You can do that later.
What?
Later.
You have no faith in my ability as an actor.
Like the moves that you're doing on purpose, sing like a singing on key. Talk to the girl that intimidates you, pretend that you're brilliant and charming. I said pretend that you're brilliant and charming. Hey!
And now a man who always sells it to the back rows, Jason Suel.
Yeah, later with Jason Suel. Welcome to our show, Entertainment
Cowabunga,
Television
dudes.
with Heart.
Like, when did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles start looking so stupid?
That's a good question. Hey, you know what?
It's cubular.
Time out.
It's weird.
Here's the deal. It's no secret that we don't actually film this show live. We film it way in advance, sometimes so far in advance that it makes these intro sections a little bit problematic because we have no idea what's actually happening when the show airs. So, with that in mind, we're gonna keep this intro section rolling along, but we're gonna have a little fun with it. Time in. Man, yeah, I know. They do look
They
weird,
look so
don't they?
silly these days. I mean, when I was a kid, they actually, and they didn't speak all the time. Like, why do toys, like, listen to this?
They gotta talk. We gotta activate all kinds of learning modalities now.
Batteries.
Electronics.
Guys, let's just talk about something. The other day, we got an advanced screening of seeing what will become the movie of the summer.
Oh, yeah, Endgame.
Avengers Endgame.
Oh, man.
Groundbreaking film.
I know, it's crazy. But what did you think? What were your takeaways from the movie?
Well, I'd say first, it was exciting.
Yes.
And that part where, you know, and he comes out and he's like,
it's crazy.
and he's
I know.
like, choo, choo, choo.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, I was on the edge of my seat.
I know. Any other thoughts? Ben, what'd you think? Avengers Endgame?
I can't believe they got Bob De Niro in there, man.
I know. How did they do that?
Crazy.
Brie Larson's portrayal of Captain Phasma was amazing.
That was good.
It was a switch. It was a little bit of a switch.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what, guys? I think we can do something special right here on Later with Jason Suel. We're going to hop in our time machine. We're going to take it back to a cold, late winter. Let's go February 23rd.
Ooh, it was so cold back then.
I want to go
You
back
ready?
to February.
Here we go.
I thought we...
Whoa.
Shift. The time shift.
Here we are, the time shift again.
Back to February.
Hey, so it's February 23rd. Are you guys excited about what will become the movie hit of the summer, Avengers Endgame?
It's kind of far off.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not that. I mean, when it gets here, I'll get excited.
Right. Anybody else? What do you think? Yeah, sorta?
Kind of.
Yeah.
I'm kind of want to see that Alita Battle Angel right now.
Oh
Some
yeah.
of that, you know?
Yeah, that's right. That's trending right now, right?
Right now.
That
I just watched Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, and A Star Is Born. In
So
one
you're
sitting.
even 3 months further behind. Yeah.
Well, it's Oscar weekend, right?
It is. It's Oscar weekend.
It's Oscar weekend, so you got to check it out. Hey, you know what? No matter if it's past, present, or future, we're glad you're tuning in with us. We got an excellent show lined up for you today. We've got the amazing sounds of musician Ashtyn Barbaree on the show. She does a lot of stuff. She's been on the show before.
Does she
House
cut
of
hair?
Songs. I bet she could cut your hair.
Is she from the coast?
Barbaree. I get it.
Okay, well,
She just did a new
jokes.
music video, guys, and I'm excited to show it on this episode of Later with Jason Suel. Plus, we got our friends, the amazing folks from Walton Arts Center joining us. We're going to talk about their upcoming Broadway season, and we're going to have a little fun with that as well. So stick around. We got all the great things happening later.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey, Bo.
Hey, Jason.
Isn't this art amazing? It's so inspirational.
Yeah, I guess, man. I mean, it's great and all, but it just really doesn't resonate with me.
What do you mean, man? This is world-class art.
Yeah, but it doesn't look real. I mean, I get it. but it just doesn't look real.
But I guess that depends on what you mean by real.
You know, real. Like us. We are real.
But are we really real?
Of course we are real. See, that's the thing about art, Jason. 1 minute, you're looking at a painting, and then the next, it's like you're questioning your existence.
Dude, relax. We are totally real. We are really saying these words, and we are really on these people's screens. See? Real.
Wow. Okay. We are real.
Yeah. And technically, we are also art.
Sam's Furniture doing good. Shine a spotlight on your neighborhood.
We're here at Sam's Furniture in this cozy couch with Jacob Arnold from the Broyles Foundation. Tell us a little bit about the Broyles Foundation.
So at the foundation, we support the caregivers of people living with Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. The research is incredibly valid, but we work with caregivers today to help them feel prepared.
Man, that is awesome. And right here in Northwest Arkansas.
In Fayetteville, but we support caregivers nationwide.
Well, how can people find out more information about it?
So go to our website, broylesfoundation.org, and the best thing they can do is tell other people about us. If you know anyone dealing with the disease, please send them our way.
Right on. Broyles. So, you mean like Frank Broyles?
Yeah, so Coach Broyles is my grandfather. And
What?
It's such a privilege to carry on his second legacy.
Oswald, if you're his grandson, can you give me season tickets?
Yeah, welcome back, everybody. Later with Jason Suel. We're joined now at the desk from some folks from the Walton Arts Center. I'm so glad to have Scott Galbraith, Jennifer Wilson joining us on the program. And we're going to be talking about the Broadway season that you've just announced. Super exciting. Before we get into all of that, tell us your role. What do you do there at Walton Arts Center? Scott, we'll start with you.
I'm the Vice President of Programming and Executive Producer, which is just to say that if it's a paid ticketed event that happens on our stage, I and my small team of warriors, we're the ones who go out and research it, budget it, figure it out, and bring it on.
Good.
Contracted to bring it into town.
I might have some more questions for you
All right.
later about that then. Jennifer, what do you do at WAC?
Yeah, I manage public relations and social media for Walton Arts Center.
And you do a great job. I love watching your social media, everything that you're doing out there on social media, getting the word out
Yeah,
about
we
all
have
the
a
great
lot
things
of
that are
fun. We have a lot of fun stuff to talk about, so
Yeah,
that's good.
absolutely. So, Scott, how does one go about putting together a season of shows? There's a lot that must go into it. Talk to us about that.
There is, and I think it's a longer process than people
Yeah.
really think about, because even though we just announced the 2019-20 season,
Right.
I've already got shows penciled in for 2021 and 21-22. And we're starting to
Wow.
think as far out as 24. So
Oh my
as
goodness.
shows are getting ready,
As are we, by the way. We have all of our shows planned out, Bo.
To tomorrow, I think, ish.
Exactly.
Yeah, 20 tomorrow.
Yes.
but as shows are prepping for New York,
Sure.
we're keeping an eye on them to figure out which ones do we think are. You're sort of betting on your horses, if you will, trying to
Right.
figure out which ones are going to last,
Yeah.
which ones are going to accelerate, which ones are going to fall to the wayside,
Right.
And you start planning accordingly. But as we get closer, as a Tony voter, I'm in the city a lot to watch all the new shows,
Yeah.
and to evaluate.
Wait. You're a Tony voter?
This guy, Tony
did-
voted.
I didn't mean to drop anything, but yes,
just
I
wanted
am. As a
to
matter
drop
of
it.
well, yes, I have.
Name
to
drop.
Just sprinkled that one in nonchalant.
It's a terrible part of the job, but somebody has to do it. I'm very fortunate to be able to do that. I see a lot of shows,
Right.
many of which I love, some of which, not so much.
Right.
But that's part of it, and that's
Right.
part of the curatorial process.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but there are actually 2 Tony voters that work at Walton Arts Center. Is this
the only
correct?
2 in the state of Arkansas. Yeah, Jennifer
Wow.
Ross and I are the only 2 Tony voters.
That's amazing. That's super
So
neat.
it's fun. So between the 2 of us, we absolutely see everything. And that allows us to have a wide view of
Yeah.
everything that's going to be coming available, and we start to slot in what our dreams are,
Right.
and then we go to the agents and we start working to figure out. The calendar is king. Calendar drives everything,
course.
and then of course we're arguing with them about ticket prices to
Right,
make sure it's
yeah,
affordable
sure.
for the market and things
Yes,
of that nature.
all of that haggling.
But
Does-
at the end of the day, it's about getting people in the seats, and that's where
That's where
my friend comes
yeah,
in.
it comes in. Does a great job of getting folks in the seats. Here's a question, probably a silly question, but does every show that is on Broadway get a tour?
No.
Interesting.
No, and some shows tour that aren't on Broadway.
Right.
There are regional productions that get put together.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they're union, sometimes they're not. So we keep an eye on all of that.
Okay.
Most of what we do comes off of Broadway, or at least off off-Broadway.
Sure.
But some of them are regional tours. Some of them, we're going to be looking to partner with some regional entities in the future to
Sure.
help create shows, because
love that.
Broadway ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
When you have a lot of shows, long-running shows on in New York, new shows can't find a theater, so that slows down the pipeline, if you will.
Right.
So we need to be able to work with other theaters to create shows to make sure that we have a constant supply.
So I'm looking at your season, and we're going to get into the specifics of that season in just a little bit, but how important is it to have variety when you look at your full season at Walton Arts Center? What is that
It's
like?
everything. I mean, it is as important as having a community that has variety in it. I mean, it is the spice of life.
Yes.
It's trite, but it's true. So we try to have a balance between sort of the old chestnuts, titles that people know
Right.
and love and
Yes.
can trust,
Yes.
and something that's brand new, fresh, that maybe they've never heard of, that we're asking them to take a risk on. But that's part of what we do. So we look for sort of variety in genre, styles, time periods, locations, culture representation. We try and just really make it a varied package
Yeah.
to appeal to everybody at some
Right.
point.
And this upcoming season is no exception
It
to
is
that.
that. It is
How
that.
many of these shows have each of you seen? Jennifer, how many of these next season's shows have you seen?
So I've seen 2 of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Are you excited to see the rest of them?
I am very excited to see the rest of them. The 2
Yeah.
that I saw were fantastic.
Yes.
So I'm
Yeah.
excited to bring them here too and see people's reaction to them.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Scott? Well,
Well,
you just
remember,
said-
we have a 7-show package, which
Yeah.
is the largest package of shows that we've ever offered
Right.
before, and then we have 2 add-ons. Of those 9, I've seen 8.
Wow.
And Jennifer saw, we made sure that Jennifer saw the other one. So we
Right.
have seen them all and been able to do the quality check on each and every one of them.
So we're talking about it, and again, we're going to get into the specifics of the season in a second. But if people want to find information about, like, maybe they want to subscribe, maybe they want to become a season subscriber, or get information just for one show, how can they do that? What does that look like? What's that process?
Yeah, so
like?
subscriptions are open right now. They're open through May 15th.
Okay.
You can get a 7-show package. You can get tickets to a 7-show package for as low as $316.
Wow.
Which is really
bargain.
great, especially when we
Yes.
talk about the shows that are coming.
Yeah.
You can't see shows like that anywhere, and we're bringing it right to
Man,
Northwest
like
Arkansas.
if you go out of state to some of the bigger markets, that's like one show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly right.
that's exactly right.
And in Baumwalker Hall, which is such an intimate space,
Such a great
even
space.
if you're sitting toward the back, it's a very intimate experience.
Yes.
So it's a great
Like
great value.
literally every time I get a ticket and I'm up in the balcony, every single time I'm with somebody and they'll go, "Oh, in the balcony seats," and I go, "Just wait." You get in there and there's literally not a bad seat in the house. Like there isn't one.
Well, and particularly if there's any dance involved,
Yeah.
being up high sometimes is better
It's
because you
better.
get to see the patterns.
Absolutely.
And, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they can go to our website, waltonartscenter.org, or call our box office, 443-5600,
Okay.
and we can talk them through how to do a subscription.
So the subscriptions are open now, and then as the season gets closer, you're going to be opening up tickets to just single shows. Is that right?
Yeah, so this happens in a couple of different phases. So we're in the subscription phase right now.
Right.
There will also be a create your own phase that happens right at the end of the summer, where people can
like
kind of
that.
pick and choose the different shows that
Yes.
they want. And then we'll do single tickets in August.
Okay.
And in the midst of all that, our group sales folks are out there working with groups, trying to get them
Yeah.
put into shows. Because there's a long lead on groups, because of course that's a big group that have to
Absolutely.
organize. So that's happening simultaneously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ever tried to plan a dinner party? It's almost impossible, much less a season of shows.
You got that right. So WaltonArtsCenter.org is the place to go if you're looking for information. Right now, you can go and purchase those season subscriptions. And speaking of the season, I want you to stick around and kind of announce for us the season of shows coming to Walton Arts Center. Stick around, folks. That's coming up later.
Hi, I'm Scott Galbraith from Walton Arts Center.
And I'm Jennifer Wilson from Walton Arts Center. We're here today to share with you an exclusive preview of the great shows that we have coming to Walton Arts Center on our Broadway season. So the first show that we have coming is Escape to Margaritaville. This is a musical that's based on the music by Jimmy Buffett. So think Cheeseburger in Paradise and Fins and Volcano. It's a great story. It's coming straight to us from Broadway, and it's a perfect musical for people who don't think that they like musicals.
I blew out a flip-flop.
I'm wasting away again.
And coming up after that in November is a fantastic straight play comedy called The Play That Goes Wrong. Want to tell me about that?
Yeah, The Play That Goes Wrong. So think Sherlock Holmes meets Monty Python.
Why do I always have to be the girl? I mean, I'm running out of costume ideas.
I believe things are going from bad to utterly disastrous.
So the next show that we have coming in for the holiday season is A Christmas Story.
Fantastic.
So this is that traditional movie that everybody sits around and watches right at Christmas time, but it's set to a musical. The musical has music by the guys who did Evan Hansen, Dear Evan Hansen.
As well as La La Land.
That's right.
Oh, fudge.
And then next we have Once on This Island.
And that's coming up in February. Once on This Island is a really terrific musical. It's by the same people who created Ragtime, but it really, at its core, is sort of a Little Mermaid story. It's the story of a young lady who helps save a young boy, but it's about her just blind commitment and love for this young man, despite social injustice and racial inequalities that are taking place all around them.
Wait, weren't we just in Margaritaville?
Now we're on an island?
I think I smell island food.
Wait, is that a live goat?
So the next show that we have, Anastasia.
Is Anastasia. It's a lush, beautiful musical that takes place in Russia in the early 1900s, Russia transitioning into Paris of the 20s. It's a beautifully produced show about the last of the Romanov Empire, about that family, Anastasia.
I have to be a princess?
A Russian princess, but it's better than being executed.
Well, that's true.
And then next up, we've talked about a lot of new musicals that are coming in and plays, but this is one that's a traditional one for us.
A classic, Fiddler on the Roof. It's a modern restaging of the classic. Also takes place in Russia at the exact same time as Anastasia. So we get a look at a different look at Russia at the very same time.
Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match.
If I were a rich man.
And then the last show on the subscription series is one that we're super excited about.
We are, and this is a gem. It's called The Band's Visit. You may not have heard of it, but you will, and you need to see the show. It's fantastic. It takes place in Israel. There's a band from Egypt that is gotten lost, and they end up in this very small town in Israel. But it's about how these people who don't speak the same language and are culturally very different find a way to come together through music, through the love of music.
We heard there was dessert.
No, you guys are lost in the desert, and then you bring joy to our lives.
Can we escape to Margaritaville?
So that's our 7-show subscription series that we have going on for Broadway. We would love to have you guys come out and enjoy it. It really is a passport to different lands, different cultures, and it'll be a great season.
Our musical guest brought to you by Walton Arts Center. Walton Arts Center, presenting the West Street Live series.
How I miss the way you smile when you look at me, man. That's been a while. The world around me just disappears. I've never felt this. I've never felt this way, my dear. And as the night fades away, I know you'll be here to stay. I wonder how we let it all just pass us by. And as the night fades away, I know you'll be here to stay. I wonder how we let it all just pass us by.
Yeah, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Later with Jason Suel. Remember, you can find us out there on your social media platforms. Send us an email at laterwithjasonsuel.com. And before we leave this episode, let's thank some folks.
How about our musical guest, Ashtyn Barbaree?
Man, she is amazing. And our great friends from Walton Arts Center, Scott, Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us. See you later, alligator.
After a while, crocodile.